Good morning, Spirit Play friends. Boy, this has been such a strange spring, but today is our last regular Spirit Play class of the year. And then church is working their magic on how to get you in the garden this summer with stories and gardening at church. So, let's begin. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's time to say hello now, hello now, hello now. It's time to say hello now to all of our friends, to Helen and you and your grown-up and Savannah and Sarah. It's time to say hello now to all of our friends. Good morning, friends. Good morning and welcome to Spirit Play. Let's light our chalice. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith, the light of truth and the warmth of love. Now we'll do our peace greeting. I offer you peace.
I offer you peace.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you love.
I offer you love.
I see your beauty.
I see your beauty.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I honor the wisdom in you.
I honor the wisdom in you.
Come, let us wonder together.
Come, let us wonder together.
All right. So it's time for our joys and sorrows. And I have a sorrow today that I'm going to keep in my heart. Helen, would you like to pick a joy or a sorrow?
I have a joy that spring has sprung and the flowers are coming out and we get to do fun things outside.
And Savannah, do you have a joy or a sorrow you'd like to choose? You have something you want to keep in your heart? Okay. Okay. And friends at home, would you like to share a joy or a sorrow? You can have one that you keep in your heart, or you can pass, or you can share your joy or your sorrow with your grown-up. And if your grown-up has a joy or a sorrow to share or to keep in their heart, they can share it with you. All right, friends. Thank you for your good listening. Let's set these things aside this morning and get ready for our story. I wonder what we have today. First, and once upon a time, there was nothing. And then, there was something. These somethings were very small. They were covered in a jelly-like, clear substance, like an egg. These somethings were very close together, near other somethings. They were floating on the water near the land. It was springtime, and it smelled like wet dirt and new grass and warm sunshine. One night, out of the forest came an animal with a striped tail, sharp teeth, and wearing a mask. Wait a minute. kind of an animal wears a mask? It was a raccoon. And the raccoon smelled the somethings and thought, yum! And it put its hands in the water and tried to eat the somethings, but they were slippery and they slipped back into the water, kersplash. And the raccoon tried again and lifted, and it slipped right through its hands and splash back into the water. The raccoon left without eating anything. These somethings are slippery and slimy. It's nature's way of protecting them from getting eaten. But still, sometimes if the clumps are small, they do get eaten. These somethings, they start to grow and grow. They get bigger. They eat the yolk from their egg, and they wiggle and they wiggle and they wiggle and they wiggle until they break free from their eggs. Sometimes it takes 3 days to 3 weeks, depending on what kind of something they are, to wiggle out of their egg. These somethings, when they get free from their eggs, they swim all around. They are tadpoles. They have feathery gills behind their head to take air from the water to breathe. Wouldn't that be funny to have feathery gills on your neck? They swim and they swim and they change. They grow and they grow. They swim through the water and they're vegetarians, which means they eat plants. They eat little tiny plants that live on other plants called algae. They are changing and growing all the time. Tadpoles become frogs. They transform into frogs. What a strange mystery. One day, as the tadpoles are swimming and wiggling and swimming along, they notice they have bulges on either side of their body. What could these bulges be? They may feel suspicious about these bulges. Can they be good? The bulges are their back legs. Can you imagine what it might be like to have both legs and a tail? Would it be exciting or confusing or both? These tadpoles continue to change and transform. They grow and grow and grow. Skin grows over their gills and the gills move inside their body. They get sharp teeth in their mouths. They swim and they swim and they swim, and then they get bulges on either side of their head. What could these bulges be? They are their front legs. These tadpoles look so different than the somethings they started from. As they grow and change and grow and change, they change even more. Their tails get smaller and smaller. Their gills disappear inside of their bodies and are replaced with lungs. Do you know what this means? They can't just get their air inside the water anymore. They have to swim to the surface and breathe air on top of the water. Eventually, they change so much that they turn into frogs and they move from the water, the only place they've ever known, onto the land. What might it be like to leave the only place you've only known and go live in a completely different place? And when they get on land, something else changes. They see a fly and they think, yum! Now they eat insects and worms and bugs. They develop, their tails disappear all the way and they get a long, sticky tongue. What do you think they need that long, sticky tongue for? Is it to wave to other frogs because they're the friendliest frogs in the world? No, It's to catch flies and insects and other food that they now eat. Now they're a grown-up frog, and now they can make frog spawn, which is the sun things that we started with at the beginning of the story, to start the whole cycle again. Frogs have been around on Earth a very long time, even before the dinosaurs. I wonder, friends, what was the best part of the story today?
I think the best part of the story that something so beautiful as a frog can come from something that we don't even know what it is.
All right, what do you think, Savannah? What's the best part of the story for you? You don't know? That's okay. I wonder what the most important part of this story was today.
I think the most important part of the story is that even though something may look weird or different, it can still change and look beautiful.
What do you think, Savannah? What do you think was the most important part of this story this morning? You don't know? That's okay. I think the most important part of the story for me this morning was all the changes. There were changes and changes and changes and changes. And what we ended up with over here didn't look anything like this. But that frog got to grow from a little egg to a tadpole, to a bigger tadpole, to an adult frog. That's pretty amazing. I wonder, friends, if you were in this story, who or what would you be?
I think I would be the frog.
You would be the frog? Which part of the frog? This one?
Actually, I think I would be the water.
You would be the water, where everything lives before they move on to the land. Beautiful. What do you think? What will you be in this story today, Helen?
I think I would be the air because even though the frog changed and changed again, it still needed the air, even if the air was in the water.
Ah, so the air, it changed how the frog or the tadpole got it, but that was a constant thing, even in the middle of all the change. I think if I was somebody in this story today, I would be the wiggling and the wiggling and the wiggling and the wiggling that broke me out of my egg. I wonder, friends, is there any part of this story that we could leave out and still have all the story that we need?
I don't think so.
Beautiful. Well, for friends at home, what do you think was the best part of the story today? What do you think was the most important part of the story? If you were something or someone in this story today, who or what would you be? Is there any part of this story we could leave out and still have all the story we need? Well, friends, it's time to put our story away. And for you at home, that means that you can start your work time to work on this story today. We encourage you to play or be creative or hang out with your grown-up until that feels complete, and then you can end your class at home. For us today, we're going to end our class right now, so we can be with you for that, and then you can do it yourself later. So, let's unlight our chalice. Though we extinguish the light of this chalice, we know that the light of truth and the warmth of love go with us in our hearts. And we can sing. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you So